Hello and welcome. Janet Beckers here with your Romance Your Tribe radio episode for this week. And this week is a total teaching one. We're going to talk about what you can be doing to make it so that people will buy now, rather than saying, I'll think about it or I'll get back to you. And it can be one simple little thing that you can be adding to your offers, and it can make all the difference to how many conversions you get. So can you relate to this? I don't know how many times I've had this in the past, until I really cracked this, where you've got a fantastic product or service that you can be using to really help people, and you know that if you've got your right avatar, the perfect person that you can be helping, you know that if you can marry them with what you've got to offer, you're going to help them to get results. You know it's going to work. So you may have gone through all the process of, first of all, doing all the different things you can do to attract this ideal person to you in the first place. Then you may have been doing everything in the right place to to get them so that they trust you, they understand what you do, and that they've got an idea that you can actually help them. Then you've got them to the point where it's the sales process, where you're going to make the conversion. Now, this might be where it's a sales call, where you're getting them on the phone and you're talking to them, or it might be a sales page where you're going to be making an offer to them. And you might have done all of those things absolutely perfectly. And by the way, if you've done all of that, go you, like so few people do. So first of all, really celebrate that you have got that in place. Now, there's lots of little things, of course, that could be causing the reasons why you may not be getting the sales you want. But I tell you what, one of the easiest ones to rectify, and it's very often the one that can be just this one thing that's making the big difference, is giving people a reason to say yes now. Now, this is the next side. Have you been exposed to where you've got somebody that is putting the pressure on you, where you may have been the customer, and it might be a sales page, it might be that you're on a call and you're really starting to feel pressured, and it's not in a good way, where you might have been thinking that this was a great person you wanted to work with, but because of their pushiness to get the sale, you're starting to feel yourself back off. Have you ever had that? I know I have. It's that classic sort of thing where they're either trying to guilt you into it, or they're using this sort of stuff of, there's only so many left. Go, go, go. You've got to do it now. What kind of person are you? Do you really want to take action? You say you want this, but hey, you're not. There can be a lot of that smarmy stuff that goes with it. And I know if you're like me, you do not want to come across like that. So how do you get that fine balance? That balance between, I want people to take action now, but you don't want to be pushy, smarmy, and turn people off and lose trust. So how do you get that balance? So I'm going to run over a couple of things that you can be doing now that's going to help you. Now, at the moment, as I'm recording this, I'm actually in the middle of doing a 5-day, get shit done workshop, where every single day I'm walking you through one of those steps. So we go into detail on this on day 4. And I'll have links down below, so in case you're coming back afterwards, you can sort of get an idea of what we were doing. If not, if you're there today and you're watching this live, get over there and make sure that you're registered, so that you can get all the different steps that make a great offer. So don't miss out on that, because I've designed it to really help you. But for now, let's have a look at the 2 different approaches that you can be using to get people to say now no, because you do now no yes now so you do not want to be one of those smarmy people. So what you've got to do is find a way to get people where there's an urgency. It's either scarcity, some kind of urgency, something that they're going to go, oh, actually I need to say yes now. rather than later. So I like to divide it up into two different ways of looking at it. One of them is there's going to be external motivators, external things that give an urgency. And then the other one are internal ones that give an urgency. So we'll look at external first, then we'll have a look at internal. So the external ones is something where you've got a reason why now, if they don't take it now, they're going to lose the opportunity. So a great example of this is if you are offering something that is like a one-on-one or a higher end program, something where it's you or the resources within your business, you can only fit in a certain number of those, where it's very, very genuine that, I can't take endless numbers of people. Or if I'm some kind of agency or to providing a service, we can only meet so many people. So if you can then say, look, I can only work with a maximum of this number of people at one time. So if you don't go now, it's totally honest here that when you do come back, I may not have that space for you, or you may have to go on a waiting list. That can be very, very genuine. Another one that you might have is you might have some special offers. You may not have something that is going to actually go at a certain time. It's always going to be available. But you can be saying to the people when you're in that sales process, I've got this special bonus that is only available now. And it's only going to be available for people that make, who purchase between now and then. It might be a special price or a special payment plan. We'll go into a lot more detail in that when I do, when we go into all of the components of an irresistible offer. But think about, can there be some kind of bonus that you've got, a special price? Can it be that you are actually the limit? Can it be, we're going to be starting live, so this is the date you've got to be in, or you're not going to be there for whatever the live thing is that you're going to be offering, whether it's a special class or something like that. So they are external ones. Now, when it comes, one of the things that it amazes me to see is there'll be something that is a digital product. It could be, like I've got an online program that is my signature program, and it's step-by-step drip fed. It's always there. Now, what really, really annoys me is and it just makes me laugh when people go, hey, there's only 50 left, or something like that. And it's a digital product. That's just like total BS. So doesn't that make you lose trust in people all the time, when they do things like that? So you've got to have a very genuine reason why. So for a digital thing, you can't be saying, I've only got so many of these. But you can very well go, it's only going to be available for this window of time. And there is great software out there now. Just contact me. The one I use is software. That means that it actually is very genuine, that we can be going, it's only open for this period of time, even if it's evergreen. And if they try to come back after a set time, the software won't let them buy. It's a genuine thing where I can say, my Smarty Pants software is making it that if you don't take this opportunity, you're going to lose it, and you will not be able to get back in to see this offer for a few months. So, and I know with, so if your software can't do it, don't try and say it, okay? You're just going to get caught out being a liar, pants on fire. So just be open and make sure your software makes that available. So there's a few things, I go into a lot more detail we're going to go into more detail when I'm doing this very short-term free workshop. And of course, we go into really in depth on this when I'm with people in the program I just mentioned, the Attract Your Tribe program. So they are external ones that are going to give you, like why they should buy now. They're external things that you have decided that you are going to be putting in place. Now, the other ones that I talked about were internal ones. Now, how does that work? Because sometimes, try as hard as you cannot really come up with an external one that feels right for you, that feels genuine. Or you might be put on the spot now and they haven't worked and you're thinking, well, what's the next one? So the internal ones are, these are things for your clients. Now, that if you get the right client that wants to go from point A to point B, they're on some transformational journey, that they've got a problem and they want a solution. and you know that your offer is going to get them from point A to point B. And you know that if they don't get your help, they're either got to go and try and find somebody else that can help them, or more likely, they're also going to be just going, you know what, this is something that they've been wanting to do for a long time. They're going to end up going, if they don't do it now, they know it's going to end up going into the one-day basket, or the procrastination basket, or the, oh, good grief, I've left it for so long, now I've got to do this urgently basket. So these are the things where it's your responsibility, if you really want to help that client to get their results, for you to ask them, okay, so let's look at what is the cost to you? What are the consequences to you if you delay this any further? And you can be honest with them, like, if you don't get back at a certain time and make a decision, when do you think you're going to make a decision? When have you tried to make a decision like this before? How long have you been thinking about this? How long have you had the problem? And let's have a look at, if you don't do something about this now, in 6 months, 12 months, are you going to be in exactly the same position now? Now, there is a really fine line between being pushy, but also going, you know what? Here's a bit of a tough love talk for you. What's the consequences of you not taking action now? Especially if you've got something that you know, there may be a window of opportunity even in your market when whatever it is that you're going to help them to do, this is the best time to be doing it. For example, mastering video is a great one in my market. You know, you've got to get good at this now. You don't stuff around and wait, because you are just going to get left behind. If you need some help with that, just contact me, okay? Now, this can be a fine balance without you being pushy, but you can do it in a classy way. And that's what I help my clients do. Let's work out a classy way to be able to do that, and it all comes into your sales copy, or the way that you are going to be mentioning that to people. So if you're having a sales conversation. Now, so let me just review this for you. If you are getting people and you've got all those beautiful pieces fitting in together, you've got a way of getting leads, you've got a way of building trust so they know that you can help them, then you've got a place where they've got some sort of conversion. They've either got on the phone with you or they're on a sales page. You've got all of those things perfectly, but they're still not buying, or they're saying, I'll get back to you. Then very likely having something that is going to give them urgency, scarcity, like take action now or else, is maybe the one thing that's going to work, because people are always going to put things off unless they have to make a decision. So we talked about external and we talked about internal urgencies that you can be using to get people to make a decision now. Okay, so I would love to hear from you. If you want some more help, if you're watching this live, then you've got a good opportunity to be able to come and join the free workshop. It's only going for 5 days, then all the training there will disappear. But you've got me there for that workshop, helping you to put all the components in to an offer. And urgency is what we do on day 4. Now, otherwise, use the links down below, and I'll see if I may have put some other resources that are there if you use that link below. Otherwise, you know, this is what we really nail in my Attract Your Tribe program, and especially with my accelerator clients, because I do that personally with you. All right, so I can't wait to hear from you. And what would be wonderful, I'm just really curious, like, what's your feeling? I've talked about internals and externals. I'm really curious about, where has it been where you got over the line, where you were a customer? What worked for you where you were umming and ahhing? Was there a special offer that was made to you that had some kind of urgency, either internal or external, that worked for you, that got you over the line? I'd be really, really curious to hear from you, because if that worked for you, see if you can replicate something like that in your own business. Okay, bye.